Today's such a beautiful day, and I've been out here like just kind of writing and preparing something for my friend, and I'm just like really glad right now that spring is here and we're actually gonna be able to go outside and just be with nature and everything now. Um, but I wanted to talk about my trip to Alaska because I figured um, it was, I don't know, it was a really intense experience for me, and I thought you guys might like to hear. Um, I went pretty recently, like a couple weeks ago, um, to Alaska for the first time, and I was there for 10 days visiting my friend Kristen. She's someone I met a while ago when I was living in Colorado. She's this really awesome girl. She's really sweet and like kind-hearted. Um, and we connected, and then because we were both going to the same college, and then we've just, I don't know, kept in contact for about 2 years now. We talk like almost every day, and so I just really wanted to come see her. She was actually supposed to come down to see me, actually, and what ended up happening was, she signed up. She works at Walmart, and she like did the whole application to be able to come, and then they said yeah, and then like 2 weeks before she was about to go, they were like, we changed our mind, we need you that weekend, you aren't going, which I thought really sucked. It's honestly kind of rude to do, especially because she made that like she applied for that like 3 or 4 months like ahead of time, but that kind of honestly just spurred me, that as well as me leaving, having to wait for trade school, made me realize I just needed to go to Alaska myself. And you know what? Like, I'm so glad I did, because that place is crazy. So, like I said, I was there for 10 days, and it was great. The first 2 days I was there was nothing but parties, which was fun. Like, I got there on I got there on a Thursday, and then that Friday and the Saturday we threw like two big parties. Like, I don't know, 30 or 40 people came. There was a bonfire, all sorts of stuff. And it was Friday the 20th, and then or Friday the 19th, and then Saturday was 420. And that was a whole like festival with like, I went to this one house during the day with everything you could want on 420. And then that led up to another big party at the house, which was great up until the guy that I was staying with Kristen and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend came home from work and exploded. For 420, like, Kristen pulled out some of his weed, which he had a bunch of different kinds of weed, and apparently we just chose the wrong one, or she chose the wrong one, because he said if she had smoked any of the other ones, he wouldn't have blown up. But she grabbed this one strain they'd been saving for a little while with his friend, and kind of shared it with me and a couple other people. And it was like, I don't know, 1.3 grams of weed that we smoked. That's like $10-12 of weed. And this guy went ballistic. Like, I can't tell you how angry he got, and it seemed like it was for no reason. He came in, found out it was smoked, then started screaming. He punched his fridge, and he broke a piece of his table off. I was just like, Jesus, this guy is, like, he's got a temper. And he was in the military for a while, so, like, this is a strong dude. And he went out, like, he was so angry. He went out to where the fire was. He grabbed a piece of, like, this pallet that was on fire with, like, a bunch of people surrounding it, and just picked it up and threw it while yelling. And then, well, everybody cleared out of there pretty quick. But then, he smoked a little bit of weed, and like 10 minutes later, he was chill. We were talking. It was like nothing was wrong. And I was just like, all right, so watch out for his temper. Right? But then that same day, immediately, I'd only been in Alaska for 2 days. And I immediately lost my glasses. I was drunk, and that was kind of part of it. And we were on our way. There are dispensaries in Alaska that are totally legal. And so I was drunk in the passenger seat, and we were on our way to the dispensary to go pick up some stuff. And I was like, "Hey guys, look at this!" And being a drunken fool, I stood up, put my head out the sunroof. I tell you, I didn't even notice that the wind took my glasses off my face. I was just up there, and I was like, "Man, it's windy." Because we were going like 80, and I came back down, and I was like, feels like there's something different. Went to reach out my face, and I was just like, oh my God, did I drop them? And that's when I realized, and I thought it was gonna be completely, like, I was just gonna be blind for the next like 8 days I was there. But that same guy, Jeremy, the one that was angry, he has like a really similar prescription to me. And so I ended up being able to go and borrow some of his contacts, and I basically bought them off him, like at the price he was buying them, and I don't know, it was I'd never worn contacts before, and it was just like, it felt like God himself had come down and given me the gift of sight. Because once I had those things in, I was just like, is this what it's like to not be blind? But then, a couple days later, I skinned my first rabbit. And, like, it's actually really easy. See, there are 2 dogs that live at that house, and one of them, Artemis, is, like, she's a crazy motherfucker. Like, I swear, she got out. She was out of the house for 15 minutes, and she came back with a rabbit. I was like, that's impressive to me, because, like, those things can run. This dog was out there, and it knew exactly what it needed to do. It's not even, like, really an outdoor dog. It usually stays inside. So, and then we had the rabbit, and we were like, well, are we gonna just like leave this, or are we gonna do something with it? So I like got on YouTube, figured out how to skin it, and like it's super simple. You just cut at the back of the neck, and then you can literally peel the skin off. But then we realized that like we decided not to eat the rabbit, because she caught 2 rabbits in like one day after the next, right? And the second one is the one that we managed to grab, and it seems like she had buried that one a while ago or something, because once we got up inside of it, we could tell that it was like going bad. All the insides were turning brown. It was just like, let's not put this in our mouths. And then I learned how to drive a manual, which was really fun, because I don't know, there's something super fun about playing around with the car's engine while you're on the road and like just kind of learning it all. And I figured it's gonna be like good skills, because I'm about to be doing the CDL thing, and I'm gonna have to drive stick anyways while I'm driving one of those trucks. So it was honestly really good, like practice. And then this was one of the coolest parts of the whole trip, was I got to speak with the Alaskan natives who lived there. There was, the Wednesday I was there, there was, like maybe 6 days into my trip, there was a big, tribal communal hall thing, that was happening because the salmon were starting to come back. Like, it's starting to get to the time of the season where, there's gonna be more of them in the rivers and stuff. And so they were doing like a, what's it called? A kind of like a ritual, I guess, to like thank the world for bringing them food, and for the hope of another good and fruitful year. And it was really fun. I got to like really know the people and like how they connect with the landscape and everything, which is a big part for me, because I didn't want to just go there and be like a tourist and go to all the like pretty spots and leave. I feel like one of the most beautiful things you can do is really to like hear and speak to like a land's people. And it was really fun too, because we had a big buffet. We all ate some food together, and then they started playing some music, and people started dancing, and I was like, this is perfect. I get to dance. And I like walked up to this girl, one of the natives, her name was Veronica, and asked her if she would teach me. And then from that point forwards, I spent like maybe, I don't know, like probably 30-40 minutes dancing with everybody, having just a good time up until Jeremy came back from whatever it was he was doing and picked me up, and we headed back home. But one of the scariest things that happened while I was in Alaska was I had an encounter with a bear. Me and Kristen went up to Denali on the second Thursday I was there. And Denali is this giant national park in Alaska that has the North America's biggest mountain. Like it's giant. Like where Mount Everest is 29,000 feet. Mount Denali, used to be called Mount McKinley, is 20,000 feet. That's only 9,000 feet of difference. And it's like, you see that thing from far away, and you can tell it's big from the moment you lay eyes on it. But then you get up to it, and you're just like, I did not understand. But so we were on this trail. It was a loop trail, so it followed a river, went up the river to a certain point, and then there was a little bridge that crossed around and then came back up the river in the opposite direction. And we were walking, we had just gotten on the trail. We'd only been on it maybe 10 minutes, and we were walking towards the like the back end of the loop when we saw this guy who was just kind of innocently like hiking on the trail, and this dude had no idea that there was he had no idea that there was a bear literally, I don't know, like 150 feet from him. And it was up on this bank. Like I want you to imagine, this is the river, this is his trail, this is ours trail, and then there's like a mountain kind of hill over on his side. And and so the bear was like right up above him, and he was walking, it was behind him and he couldn't tell. And it was crawling towards him. Like it was, crawling's not the right word. It was slowly kind of like working its way over to him, like but purposefully. Like you could tell it was trying to get up behind him. And so me and Kristen freaked out because this was a grizzly. Like it was a blonde grizzly, and it was big. And like this season right now, this is when they're getting out of hibernation. So all those dudes are hungry as fuck. And so we like called out to this dude, and we were like, hey, you gotta watch out, man. Like, there's a bear. This guy wasn't he didn't hear us. He didn't see shit. Like, we were in front of him waving, and the dude didn't see us. I had to like keep getting closer to the bear, and I was just like, I'm not liking this feeling. And then finally he sees us, and he looks behind him, and that's why I could tell that this guy had lived in Alaska for a while, because he didn't freak out. He stayed calm. He was like, all right, that's a bear. I can't. That's a grizzly. I can't run because I know if I run, it'll come after me. So he picks up the pace a little bit, but he doesn't look back. He just keeps a solid pace going up ahead, and the thing is slowly like leaving him behind, because it's like following him and then getting distracted by little things and then following him again. And so once we see that, we start going back too. But the issue is, this guy's got a straight shot on his side, but we like circled around this little glacier thing that was kind of like in the way. It was like this giant mound of ice, maybe like 100 feet by 100 feet across, and kind of like a circular kind of shape. And so we had to like circumnavigate that in order to get to back on the trail so we could get around. So we started doing that, and the bear was watching us. Like, it was chilling out, sitting on the path right behind the guy, just kind of looking over in our direction. And I was just like, I do not like the look on that guy's face. He was staring. And then so we get around the glacier, get to the other side of the path, start walking up it. I turned back. I haven't looked back in like maybe just a little bit of time. And 1 second, the bear was across the path. The other second, the bear had crossed the river, and now it was closer to us, and now it was walking towards the glacier trying to get over to us. And I was just like, I am not liking this. This is not where I thought my day was going to go. And so me and Kristen are walking. The dog's with us, too. She's like this husky Malamute mix. She's whining, freaking out, like just trying to get the fuck away because, like, this thing is actively trying to get up on us. But thankfully, like, I don't know what's going on in its head, but it doesn't start running. Because those things can run like 30 miles an hour. if it did that, like, we'd be gone, you know. I'd like let go of the dog and just like I grabbed a rock, like when it was following us. I had a rock. I was like, I know this ain't gonna do anything, but I need something to keep me at least keep me safe in my mind. You know what I mean? And then we went, and this thing, it just kept following us. It was like playing it was literally just stalking us, right? Like 100% of the time, 100% of the time. Every time I looked back, it was just a little bit closer, like gaining on us. And then there was this one point towards like once we were like maybe 5 minutes from the parking lot where we had to cross this curve. When we went around the curve, I couldn't see the bear anymore. And I was just like, oh, this is not good. There's no way. I'm not okay with the fact that I can't see that thing. And I kept looking back. I would walk 10 steps, look back. It wasn't showing up. And then out it popped, and it was like, it was even closer to us at this point. At this point, it was probably like maybe 300, 250 feet away from us. And I gotta tell you, that is too close. And no, but seriously, I was like, it was not a good feeling. But then, thankfully, like we hadn't walked that far into the wilderness. So like, if that parking lot wasn't there, if we were able to get to our car, that thing, like, it would have just followed us until it caught up to us. And I don't know what would have happened, but I imagine it was hungry. But thankfully we got out and we got in the car. We spoke to the guy for a sec because he got to the parking lot around the same time as us, and he was trying to talk. He was like I get it. We went through an experience together. He was trying to have a conversation about who we were and all that. And I was like, bro, that bear is still behind us. I think that this was a great experience, that we really bonded over this, like, and everything. But we both need to get in our cars right now and leave, because I'm not about to have that bear pop out from the woods. And then we said bye and we split up, and that was great. And the last part of the trip that was really fun was I got to see the Northern Lights. And the Northern Lights are gorgeous. Like, I only got to see them once during the whole trip, and we just happened to be outside at the right time. It was right before we went up to Denali. And it was just like watching a billowing curtain of like green and purple above your head in the sky. And I don't know. It, like, apparently I learned afterwards that that happens because the sun's rays like hit the Earth's magnetic field in such a way that it makes well, rather, what happens is it breaks through the magnetic field and hits the atmosphere in such a way that it causes the oxygen in the air to light up in those bright greens and nitrogen in the purples that make up all the colors in the sky. And I don't know, man. Like, just having a moment, like, I paused and just got to see that for a sec, and it like, our world is majestic. Yeah, it really is. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and hearing the stories. I hope they were entertaining. Yeah, I hope you stay around and keep watching, and maybe feel inspired to go traveling yourself, try some new things, maybe get chased by a couple bears, I don't know. But yeah, have a good day and enjoy yourself. Bye.